Hi there folks, look, I just took a look at my charts, and that full moon eclipse, the lunar eclipse that's taking place on the 30th of November, I was actually looking at the wrong house for most of the signs. So I just wanted to quickly go through. Libra, the eclipse takes place in your 9th house of spirituality. So anything I mentioned about the eclipse to you should be transposed to the area of study, long distance travel, higher mind, legal matters, and spiritual matters. Libra, it's November 2020. Dadhichi here. Thanks for joining me. I call this the Oracle Express, just a few little tidbits of astrological information to let you know what's going on in your part of the universe this month. And there are some pretty important factors, not least of which are the two personal retrograde planets, Mercury and Mars. So if we take a look at the Mercury retrogression, that goes until the 4th. After the 4th, it moves into its direct motion. So even if it's going to cause you a problem, which for Librans I don't think it will, because it's a very, very friendly planet, it rules great parts of your horoscope, including the 9th house, and that has to do with your good fortune, luck. It's one of the karmic houses, and therefore what you present to others in terms of your communication, in terms of your creativity, will have a great impact on them this month. Venus also late last month started to move into your sun sign, so you're really in your own element right now. You're starting to feel a little bit better. I mean, it's been a shocking year this year, oh my God. Fortunately, you've got the blessings of these two planets, which are giving you, I think, a sense of relief, a sense of optimism, and certainly the ability to attract people for any sort of cause that you may have in mind. If there's been some delay, which is quite likely with the retrograde Mercury, especially if it's a legal matter, the 9th house, which it rules, has to do with your educational pursuits, study courses. That can be online courses as well. And under the retrogression, little hobgoblins in the computer, you know, the ghost in the machine type thing. It tends to throw a spanner in the works, and you start things, you can't finish it. There's just weird things that go on, and even communication can be thrown into a bit of confusion with that. But that's not the big thing. My main concern for you has to do with Mars, which is ruling your 7th house of significant relationships, and that one is retrograde, has been also for a while, and it's in your 7th house. Mars rules your marital and significant partnerships sector, and it's going to be retrograde up until the 14th. Now, what this means is that anything related to your relationships is subjected to some of those entanglements that I mentioned, those misunderstandings, and it could even be outright squabbles. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. Let's just see whether this remote works. Excuse me for a moment. Is it working? I don't think it does. I'm no good with all this stuff. Anyhow, I'll just move closer to the camera. How about that? So this retrogression of Mars, it's been retrograde for a while. So I'm just wondering what you're feeling in terms of your relationships, whether maybe not you yourself, but maybe the partner themselves has been sort of going through some difficulties. Maybe things haven't worked exactly the way you wanted. Maybe plans that you've made haven't come to fruition. These are the sorts of effects of the retrograde planets. Now, also, you must bear in mind that Mars is a very, very strong finance planet for you, co-ruling Scorpio, which is the second segment of the space-time pie, as I call it. And what this means is that finances, especially if, as we see Mars in the 7th house of partnerships, it's a business relationship of sorts, then that could be the area where there are some misunderstandings. One or other could misconstrue the intentions or the actions of the other. Mars is an action planet. So that up until the 14th is one of the key factors. On the 15th, talking about your finances, we do see indeed the new moon taking place in that second house of income. So this is new streams of income, new sources of earning money, a new reset for your value system. So this is actually a very, very good new moon. Also, because I didn't mention the fact that it rules your 10th house. The 10th house is all about your profession, your career, and your reputation. Now, I'm just getting a sense for you, Libra, that if you've put your own passion and life dream on hold, this is the time when the new moon resets all of that, when it gives you the confidence you need to move forward and to do what it is that you really, really love. And this is a way, even if you're not able to do that immediately, the new moon does show that within the context of where you're working right now, some sort of new, I suppose, position or newfound respect for what you do and a good sense of what you're doing, especially because of that Venus in your sun sign right now. Once that Mercury goes forward, if you're looking for a pay rise, something of that nature, you can ask for it soon after, first week of November, but don't expect the boss to go, yeah, sure, where do I sign? You may need to wait to probably the 3rd, even the last week of November, until Mars picks up a bit of steam moving forward. Now, it's actually not going to pass its retrograde point, I believe, till around January 2021. Be patient, my dear. The final lunation, which we're talking about, the new moon of the 15th, the eclipse, it's a lunar eclipse that takes place on the very last day of the month in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is your 8th house. So that has a lot to do with, I guess, bringing right to the forefront those issues of the shared resources. We talked about the finances, the partnership. This is actually the savings that you have with the person, the debts that you have with the person in question. So I think that's probably left best till December because it's the very last day of the month. But you should be one step ahead of that, having a little bit of foresight as to what's likely to happen in those partnerships. All in all, it's a good month, especially for the reputational value that the new moon brings. And also that Venus and Mercury, an excellent month for your relationships. And I do look forward to seeing you again next month. But don't forget, astrology.com.au, we've got a lot more stuff there for you. It's going to fill in all the gaps of the chart that I just punctuated with a few, what I call gems. And that includes the dailies, the weeklies, the more detailed monthly written texts, and the yearly horoscopes as well. Leave me a message if you want. I'm always happy to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you again next month. Bye-bye.